Our lesson today is titled, Yes, but it's my right. Too often, people say such and such is their right, when it isn't a right, but a privilege. The best example is drink driving, or drunk driving, or driving under the influence of any intoxicant. Ever we would have in jail or in treatment. It's my right to drive my car on the roads for which I pay, so long as I'm not hurting anyone else or destroying their property. I can do as I please, for it's my right. Right. Driving is a privilege granted to you by the state. To maintain that privilege, you must fulfill certain obligations and requirements vis-a-vis the vehicle and your driving skills. You must keep the vehicle well maintained and insured at all times to be allowed the ongoing privilege of driving on the roads. The license plate renewal is the tax of which you spoke of for driving on the roads. And you must never be unduly under the influence of intoxicating substances of any substance of any kind that impairs the senses or judgment while attempting to operate any motor vehicle. Another privilege in life is to enter the private property establishments of any business. Though the public is allowed to enter these businesses, they are private property. Let me say that again. The businesses are a public establishment, but they are private property. The owner gives you the privilege to enter, provided you agree to his or her or their rules. For some silly reason, people think it is their right to buy stuff at stores owned by private individuals. It is a privilege that can be taken away in a second due to your failure to fulfill your required obligations to maintain that privilege. Whatever rules have been established, you must abide by them if you wish to maintain that privilege of entering any private property, doing business. But it is my right to do what I want in my property and with my property. Nope. There is a phrase that is poorly understood by those not educated in economics, but still bandied about by everyone, despite not understanding it in any way, shape, or form. The common good. A service or thing created for the common good isn't created so that each person will do well because of it, or so that all will have improved property values because of it, or any other similar BS. Something that is a common good is, quote, this is actually an economic term, it is to the benefit or interests of all persons. It is non-excludable and non-rivalrous. For example, a new water tower is a common good. For your use of it can't stop me from using it. You can't exclude me from using it. And my use, no matter how much I use of it, can't affect your use. It's non rivalrous. I can use as much as I want, and you can still use as much as you want. There is no contest or rivalry for the resource. With a common good, no one has a right or ability to infringe upon another's access to or enjoyment of the common good, even and including psychologically. The defense system of the country is a common good. You can't exclude my ability to be defended by the country's armed forces any more than I can exclude you. I can't be more defended than you can, so we can't have a rivalry over it. But one may make another feel less safe by spinning false tales of boogeymen who have broken the codes and are infiltrating the most secure areas of the country. In the same fashion, herd immunity and lowering infection rates are common goods for which all must work towards. No one person has a right to disrupt the common good, the achievement thereof, or the maintenance therein. No one has the right to utilize the common good, the public streets, the public transportation, or any other means of travel from one place to another with the intent of, or the propagation of, attempting to violate the privilege of the right of private property. In other words, you cannot use one common good, public transportation or the public streets, with the intent of going on someone else's private property and violating their rights. Nor can you use a common good, the public streets, to use your car to go to a private property, to break herd immunity, to reduce someone else's chances of remaining uninfected by not wearing your mask. You do not ever have the right to not wear a mask anywhere outside of your house and your private property in this country or any other country that has a mask requirement, any more than you have a right to shoot a gun in the air and not know where the bullet lands and not have control over that bullet. You have no right because you are harming others, directly and indirectly, physiologically and psychologically. And once you enter that store, you are on private property, and you have no right to be there. Do we understand each other? Completely, fully, and without exception. The other day I spoke of wearing the mask for love of another. Now I'm talking about wearing the mask because you have no right not to. God has established reasons that we love our neighbor. By not wearing the mask, you are committing a mortal sin, for you are harming your neighbor. Need I say any more, Annette? I thought not.